Greeting and welcome everyone to the 2025 REL Distinguished Lecture Series jointly organized by Department of Religious Study at the University of West and the Deepalkar USA. My name is Miro Sake. I'm the Chair and Associate Professor in the Department of Religious Study. Today is an auspicious day, Vaisakh Purnima. We are deeply fortunate to have Rinpoche, Khangser Rinpoche with us today. And it is my great pleasure and honor to introduce our distinguished guest speaker. He is Eminence Khangser Rinpoche. Rinpoche was born in Kathmandu, Nepal in May 1975. At 5 years of age, a search party positively identified him as a reincarnation of the seventh Khangser Rinpoche. He studied Buddhist philosophy intensively, achieving higher honors and a Geshe Larampa degree. And Rinpoche has established many Deepalkar centers around the globe, spearheading philanthropic effort such as providing free food to those in needs. He also established the Deepalkar Vajrayana Institute to offer free Dharma education to all who wish to learn. He is considered one of the great Buddhist teachers of the modern age. He has dedicated his life to providing spiritual medicine for who ails a broken spirit. He believes his mission is to help as many suffering beings as possible. He is currently serving as the vice abbot of Kyoto Monastery. So the topic of today's lecture is how to train your mind and transform your life. So Rinpoche has already published a book, and this topic is related to his book, and this is one of the best-selling books. Lots of people already, this book is already translated in many languages, in Nepali. So it's already popular text. So we are fortunate to hear teaching from Rinpoche today. So without further ado, please join me in welcome Khangser Rinpoche.
First of all, good afternoon to all. And it is very honored, and I'm so happy that today the day is a very special day. It's Buddha's the Vaisakh day, Buddha's the day of Buddha's the birthday, Enlightenment Day, and the Parinirvana Day. On like this, the special, the occasion day, and I got such a wonderful opportunity to sign the MOU, understanding of the memorandum with the University of the West here, and I really feel it is a very much the blast. And because a few months back, he came to my monastery in Nepal, and then we discussed, and he invited me to give the talk. Then he initiated the idea, signing the MOU with the University of the West. So I immediately agreed that, that's a very good idea. But I never thought that I will come on the Vaisakh, the day of the Buddha's Purnima day, the Buddha's birthday. And I never thought that I can come on this day and sign the MOU. So I'm so happy, and thank you so much for that to arranging this program and signing the MOU with the University of the West and my monastery in the Nepal. So it's a really very wonderful day and a very meaningful day. I'm sure that this collaboration can bring a lot of the benefits to the people. So now that as you saw today my talk about my book, Train Your Mind and Transform Your Life. I want to make it about the book. If you want to know more about my book, you can just go in the Amazon and you can get the book from the Amazon. But I will give the short introduction of the book. Why I write this book? Because right now you have to know the one thing that the Buddhism is not a religion at all. Buddhism is not a religion because all the religion starts from the faith. Buddhism, the Buddha never told them the belief. He told his followers that analyze, investigate, experiment. So that's why the Buddhism is you teach with such a method, way of the living. At least that the people can try it. They don't have to believe, only they have to try. It's just a method. So that's why in this book, I'm more on the focus that how we can transform our mind and change our life. Not only the transforming the mind. Now what I'm doing is that how does the changing your mind not only the transform your life, also how can it affect on your physical health. Right now there are a lot of the scientific research that the meditation can bring the benefit for you, bring the anxiety and the stress level down. But the past 1 or 2 years back, we started one new scientific experiment that how the meditation can bring your body immune system more stronger. 3 years back, I think 3 or 4 years back, I was invited in the Vanderbilt University, the medical center in Nashville. One considers one of the best medical centers in this country. And they are doing the one experiment of the research about that whether is there any meditation can help the people to overcome the physical pain without taking the painkiller medicine. Very interesting. So I told him that is possible. So from there, I started to do the one research. Research is about the very simple that the students or the people have to take the blood test. Then I will introduce the meditation. For 6 weeks they have to practice. After that, again we'll do the blood test. See that how it changed the body immune system, the level. So I'm not so sure that are you familiar with the term called the IRB? Do you know what does the IRB means? Institutional Review Board. It means that whatever the research you are doing, you need a certification from the certain institute or medical the university. So I'm very happy that we got that. And we are doing that. And now we did with a small group of people, and we saw the significant difference. Now we are going to the mass. So here, what I'm trying to say is that meditation is not only that something the Buddhism practice is not only for the bring the stress or the anxiety level down. It also have the immense of the effect on your physical health. So that's why one thing that we have to know we are living in such the century and the time. People's the mental, the health state is so poor, very bad. So that's why you will get very surprised that some years back, I was giving a talk at a lot of the junior school in the Oregon. All the school, when I went, I asked one question for the older kids. Kids are around 10 to 12 years old kid. Do you get stressed? Everyone raised their hand and said, yeah, we get the stress. Then I asked them, why do you get stressed? Very interesting. There are 3 main reasons. Number 1, homework. Number 2, because they have the big brothers or big brothers and sisters. Now it becomes the source of the stress. So thing is that the stress is now, even if you look at the kids like the age of the 10 or 11, even they are facing the stress. But the sad thing is that there is no guidance to help them, how these kids, you can help them to overcome the stress. Not so. Even if you look like an ADD, attention deficit mental disorder, right now, if they diagnose with a kid with an ADD, they will put under the tablets. They will keep the tablets. One mother, I met her, and she told me the whole kids diagnosed with the ADD, but she don't want to give her kids a medicine. So she was asking me. So I told, don't worry, When I was a kid, I'm also having the ADD. But I studied well, and so now the point is that so in the Buddhism, lots of the meditation, lot of the mind training, the practices can benefit a lot, like a stress, like an ADD. Because when you call the ADD, attention deficit mental disorder, if you look from the Buddhism term, it's called the distraction. No? When the distraction goes out of the control, so that's why the Buddha teaches about the shamatha meditation, single point meditation, how you can bring the focus back. And now the one more thing like Alzheimer's, when the people are losing the memory, that's also, there are a lot of the Buddhist practices and meditation can help. But here the helping, I don't have a proper research, but I feel, and I'm pretty sure that it can help. So these are what I'm saying, these are the many, the field that Buddhism practice and the meditation can help the people. Whatever the belief system they are carrying, they can carry on that belief system. But still they can practice the Buddhist, lot of the Buddhist meditation, Buddhist practice. So that's why earlier I mentioned that Buddhism is not a religion. You don't have to generate any faith and the devotion. You can just use all those methods. So that's why in my book, that's why I mentioned that in my book that the 3 points, it called that. If you read that my book, you will see that the root of the problem is a gas. G-A-S, gas. G is for the greed. A is for what? Who did the anger. Yeah. G for the greed, A for the anger, S for the stupidity. Buddha called it the ignorance, no? Avidya, it's called the avidya. But the greed, right now, the greed, anger, and the stupidity is ignorance. So the biggest issue is that right now, what happened is that right now, people feel that the greed is not a problem. They feel like the more you consume, more you will happy. But this really failed. When the more you consume, more you fail. If you look at, so what they feel is that the more you consume, more you are happy. The more you consume, you have to earn more, make more money. When you are making more money, they feel that when you cannot purchase the things, you won't be happy. That is totally wrong. So that's why it put lots of the stress in the people's mind, lots of the anxiety in the people's mind. But so that's why then the second thing is I talk about how to manage the anger. This is one of the big issue in the society. Then the ignorance. So in my book, I focus on the 3 points that how you can overcome the greed, the anger, and the ignorance. So this is something that not very new thing. What I wrote in my book, Buddha all had explained a lot, but I make it the term is a more the easier and the more the term more easier to the common people. So in that term. So these are the points, as I mentioned before, let me tell you the one about the story about the greed. Greed is like that. There's one farmer. He's very poor. So he went to see the king and told the king that I'm so poor. So king told him that, okay, I will give you the land, huge land for you. So just come next day. Next day, the farmer went to see the king, and he told him the one thing: I will give you the huge land. What you have to do is that you have to cover the land by your walk. How much you can cover by the land by your walk, I will give all those land to you. But you have to walk. More you walk, more land you will get. But the one point, there's one condition. When you start the walk, and before the sunset, you have to come back to the starting point. You have to come back to the starting point. Then I will give all those land which you can cover by the walking. Farmer feels so happy. Then he started to walk. King reminded him, one, you don't forget the condition. You have to come back before sunset where you starting the point. Farmer walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. He wanted to walk more because he wanted to have the more land. And then finally, when he remembered the condition that he have to reach back to the starting the point, then he tried to come back, run. It's too late. But he makes so hard that he run and run and run and he collapsed before reaching the starting point. That's the happening in the yoga. That's a great. Little bit more, little more, little more. So that little more never ends up till you die. That is what's happening in the life, and the little more, little more, little more. Sometimes for the sake of the earning the more, you lose you lose the family, you lose the friend. But with that little more, you are running around. You are not saying that what you lose, you lost a lot. I've been to a lot of the kids, especially kids with having the stress. Most of the kids having the stress and the depression have one complaint, that my parents don't take care of me. My mother don't care of me. My father don't care of me. Actually, it's father and mother, it's become so busy with getting more, earn more. So that is called the greed. Then the anger, then the ignorance. So that's why in that my book, I just explained more about how you can overcome that. That's why the important thing about these sort of messages really, it not only to change the people's life, it can bring the more joy and the happiness in the people's life. So that's my main, the reason that why I write the books. Actually, I always say that is not my word. Actually, that's a Buddha's word. I bring it in a very simple way. Sometimes the people people could not get the origin of the Buddha's the word. So I simplify it. So that's the thing. And another thing is that about the book. If you are interested in that book, you can you can get it from the Amazon. Earlier I told you. So actually, I got a few books and I forgot to bring here the book. I forgot to bring the book here. Later on, I will send the book in the library, donate my books in the library. If you're interested, later you can go to the library and read that book and my book in there. So in the library, and that is the main about my book. Now, another point is that one thing that many of you, I heard that you are studying the Buddhism, and the important thing is right now that after you study the Buddhism, what you will do. That's a very important. Because after you study the Buddhism, always important thing is that you can bring that idea and benefit the people. That's a very important. That's benefiting the people. Because as I told you before, right now especially in the modern time, in the meditation, it's become so popular. So popular. Let me tell you the one example. Do you know this watch? I'm not so sure. This watch I'm wearing the Garmin watch. Even this watch tells me to meditate. That's such an app. I didn't know that. But the Garmin, this watch tells me to meditate. But the sad thing is that this watch don't tell me how to meditate. Only it tells me, if you look at the app, the time for the walk, it tells me, oh, I have to walk. If they have the software in this watch and they tell me to walk. I think 3,000 or 4,000 steps. When I finish the step, this tells me, okay, now today's the job is done. And if I sit too long, it will tell me I have to move. The watch tells me. And even they feel sometimes the heart level little bit high, it tells me time to meditate. But this watch don't know that they don't know the instructor how to meditate. So right now, the meditation, all this have become it is not like a religion issue. It is very much for it is very much for the mental health and the physical health to benefit to you. It is like an important meditation is become like some sort of like a mental exercise. I always tell it is like a mental exercise to keep the mental very fit. So that's why after you study, it's a very important that you can bring such like this meditation guidance, very proper guidance to the people. Because one time I was in the market, I met the one stranger and asked me that, okay, how to meditate. Then I told her, why are you asking me? Just go into Google, just look there, you will find lots of the information. He told me one thing, very interesting thing. He told me he cannot trust the Google because the meditation and the spiritual is the biggest black market. In the world, the spiritual and the meditation system is one of the biggest black market, and I cannot trust anything in the Google. So I need the right instruction. So that's why it's very important to get the right instruction. So that's why after you study, you really can bring a lot of the benefits for the people to instructing them. So that is I really feel that, and as my own experience. Now, another things I'm working, as I mentioned, that I'm working on the very scientific, doing the very scientific research that the meditation, how can change the body immune system, with collaborating with one medical university in the Taiwan called the Khangser University, that they are doctors, and we are doing the research that up till now, if you look at the meditation research, they did the meditation, how it benefit for the mental, only how it can reduce the stress, how can reduce the anxiety. Up till now, no one have done the research, can the meditation benefit, improve your body immune system. Now the second point, I want to go, that when I touch the hand on my table, university table, okay, when I touch on this table, immediately I will know that I touched the table. Am I right? How do I know that? Sorry? I feel that. Because the brain will tell that I touched the table. Am I right? Yeah? So here, this is, if you look from the very medical science point of view, when I touch the table, one cell to another cell passes the message to the brain. That's what the medical science says. Every cell can pass the message to the brain. Now here comes the one big question. Can brain pass the message back to the cell?
Yes.
Do you get my question? Now you will come to the point. Here's the one very important point, that the cell, body cell, which grow without any proper reason, body cell which grow without any proper reason, what do you call that disease? Cancer. That is a cancer. Cancer is a body cell started to grow its own without any proper reason. Now comes back to my point. If the brain can pass the message back to the cell, can brain tell the cell not to grow, stop growing? That's my hypothesis. That can be done. But after this research, I'm going to do the meditation, whether it can control the cancer cell. That's my second research I'm doing. But the good thing is I have a very good team, doctors and all we have the team. Again, I have to apply another IRB, and then we will go and do that. So my point is that in the meditation, the Buddhism, we can touch a lot of the different field of the sickness and the illness, that we can bring a lot of the new research we can do. With this research, really, we can help a lot of people. As I mentioned before, Vanderbilt Medical Center, they are doing the research. That time they invited me, and they are doing the research that which kind of meditation can help you to overcome the physical pain without having the painkiller medicine. They told me in this country, in the market, billions of the dollars they are spending to buy the painkiller medicine. So like this, in the Buddhism, we can have a lot of... Now the important thing is, right now, when you study the Buddhism, you have to combine with the science. That's a very important. Buddhism without the science is a nothing. Because the origin of the Buddha, originally Buddha himself teach the Buddhism very scientific way. He asked to do this, analyze, do experiment. He was the one who, we can say that he is the first person in the world telling that his followers do the experiment, do the analysis. So that's why the Buddhism, so Buddhism can go hand in hand with the science. So that's why that you have to bring the science of the Buddhism and to combine the Buddhism with the science. That is a very important. And now the last point, after you study the Buddhism, it's a very important that you should practice it, okay? It is Buddhism, you practice it, not just only the theory. Buddhism should be practiced by really the yourself. It's a very important, okay? I met the one person, and he was teaching me lots about health, and the things. No, he's the nutritionist, no, nutritionist who teach me, give a lot of the advice of the nutrition, okay. And the very interesting thing, he gave a lot of advice on what to eat and everything, no, not to eat the oily foods and like that. Then we went to the restaurant. He himself is a lot of the oily cheese. He told me not to eat. This is not good. He's telling me, but himself is eating. So Buddhism, when you give the advice how to control the anxiety, how to control your anger, you should practice it. That's a very important, okay? Well, some is not practicing Buddhism. The giving some advice is not that, it don't looks that nice. So that's why whatever you study Buddhism, you should practice that. Then you should have it. That is the most important thing. That's why, yeah. So that's why the one time that I was in the Oregon and as I mentioned before, Oregon school, that one small kid asked me the one question, why the monks have to cut the hair? Why the monks have to cut the hair? Then I told him, because I cut the hair, because then I don't have to use the shampoo. I don't have to use the shampoo, that's why monks cut the hair. But a few weeks later, that small kid sent her teacher the one postcard, and that postcard had sent it to me. And that kid wrote in that postcard, now I cut the hair like Rinpoche. I don't have to use the shampoo. So that's a very important thing. What you do, we want the people to see what you're doing, so you can much easier to convince the people. Once you yourself not practice that and try to convince others, it was more difficult. So that's why whatever you study the Buddhism, practice yourself, then you can help the people. That should be the motivation. And at last I'm so happy that really I got such this like an opportunity to sign the MOU with the University West and talk. And I give the talk in the University West, and especially very special day, and the day of the Buddha's, the Enlightenment Day, and the Buddha's birthday. I'm so happy that this is today is the Buddha's, the Vesak Day, such a wonderful day it happened to me. So so that is just want to tell you that. And the last, I'm so happy with it. 2 reasons. Number one is that I'm not so sure that. Do you know where the Buddha was born? Nepal. Buddha was born in Nepal. I and the Viraj also were born in Nepal. No, and one interesting thing, the Buddha was born in May. I was also born in the May. We both are born in the May. But the only difference is that he born 2,500 years back. But that's just one reason. That's very nice. That one reason. And the second reason is I'm so happy that today that this signing the MOU and really that my monastery in the Nepal and the University West, we can future more collaborate and bring the more and the program together. Especially I'm looking like a program to bring this or the meditation research can be the certification that we can from the University West, that we can bring that program to the public. And that's my wish. And thank you so much. Thank you. And now, if you have I will leave for a few minutes for the question and answer session if you have no questions.
Question?
I can speak now. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. I think you started by the causes of distress were 3: the greed, anger, and I missed the 3rd one.
Stupidity. Yes.
Greed, anger,
Stupidity.
Greed is 1. Number 2 was
Anger.
And what's the 3rd one?
Stupidity.
GAS. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. I love the first story that because he's so greedy, he lost it all. So that's perfect. Can you, and I want to make sure, because I really love this, I want to finish that 3 chains. So how does that go into the anger? He lost it all. So is it because he passed out because he was angry? And then the stupidity is easy. They're very stupid.
What's anger, no?
How to do? Your
Yeah,
question is
so
how
the
to
greed
remove-
was like, you gave us a great story about the greedy guy.
No.
Because he wanted to get so much,
Walking.
he kept walking,
Yeah.
walking, but then he forgot. He's not gonna get how far he walked. He forgot to calculate that he has to, so
Yeah.
then the anger is the why he got ill. Because he realized he didn't get what he's greedy about, right?
So he failed.
Yeah.
Okay, the
Failed to-
stupidity is because the whole thing was stupid because of that common sense.
Yeah, so yeah, that's it. So your question is?
Thank you. No, I
that's all
wanted the
right.
third one, I got the third one.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
You have a
you.
question?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Master,
Hmm?
for your wonderful lecture. I was so interested in the topic. I'm a captain student, and as a captain student, always I go to the hospital. And in the hospital, I found that many of the staff, they treat to the patients, but these staff are suffering because of anxiety. Some of them even get heart attack, even they get some kind of stroke. And do you have any suggestion or any guidance for them, especially not the patients, those who care, nurses, doctors, how they can maintain themselves physically by using the medication? Do you have any guidance for them?
For the nurse, isn't it?
Yes, nurse, doctors, medical health staff.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So now we have to look at this point is like this. Generally, when the peoples, especially people, like I will talk about the people, okay, like family members, especially the family members, one of their family members or one of their relatives or having such a incurable disease, like incurable disease. I know that it's very difficult for them because they know the relatives will lose their life. So this is very difficult time for them. Now that for very difficult time, what they have to do is, I will suggest that few different meditation techniques. Meditation, and here we have to understand the two things. One we call the meditation, one we call the mind training. Mind training and the meditation have a little bit differences there. Meditation is take like this. Meditation is a more like a reducing like a stress and anxiety. Mind training is such to give you the more like a positive thoughts and the more like a hopes. So one is mind training, one is a meditation. Like a persons who have in the persons whose relatives having such incurable diseases. So this person is a very important to stop the things, the very negative things. Because when they will think of what will happen if they die, what will happen, how they suffer. So these are the things, lots of negative things makes their situation more worse. It will not make the better. So that's why for them it's a very important thing. The meditation like anapana, like just concentrating on the breath. That is a very important. Just whenever the negative thoughts comes, let them meditate on the breath. That is a meditating on the breath. That is the number one. Number two is that we call the transferring the positive energy. When like a sick people, visualize the sick people and think that they are taking the suffering of that person, giving your own the positive, the energy to them, like this meditation. So when they see the most difficult thing is lots of people when I'm met. So when they see the relatives going through the very, going through the very tough time, especially when they are very sick, they always feel the helpless. They can't do nothing. They're trying their best and they feel like I can do nothing. So these people, when they feel that, it really hurt them a lot. For them, visualize the patients, their relative, and inhale the breath, think they are taking that they are suffering. When you exhale the breath, let them think that they are giving their own strength and health to them. This is we call the transferring the energy or giving and taking. Okay, like this meditation, if you can suggest that. So this will be calm their mind down. Whether it really help the patient or not, that's the one big question. We really need to do the research. And up till now, we did the research with a flower. It make a big difference on the flower. You just bring the two flower, one just put in the same place, give the same amount of the water. One flower, you just meditate that give your own the good things to the flower. One flower, don't do any meditate. It will show the big difference after the week later that you can see. So if it can affect the flower, definitely it can affect the patient. But I'm not saying that it will help them to recover the sickness. I'm not saying that, but it will help them maybe reduce the pain, or, okay, get the more mental strain. Okay, these two meditation I think is quite important. Now the other thing is to bring the mind training. Mind training is like that because it's a very important when you are in your family, someone having the incurable disease. So what kind of the mindset you should have it? Mindset, what should you have it is, that's a very important. Now, what the mindset you should have it is that you just have to think that you will do your best to them. That's what we call the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, it's called like a benefiting the other. That is a very important. I will benefit that person or that family member as much as I can. That motivation have to set up. Sometimes once you don't have a very strong motivation, sometimes you will feel like hopeless. You have to set up the very positive motivation. So these are, I think, not only the meditation, also the setting up the motivation, but the training their mind is also important. So that's a very good thing what you're doing, and when you teach them also, then you can do yourself as a research, find the new ways that what the Buddha said. So that's why if you look at the Buddhism, a lot of the new the theories and the new discoveries came in the Buddhism. Because the Buddha encouraged everyone to experiment, do analysis. More you do analysis, more you do research, then new things, discoveries comes up. So that is quite important. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, the question.
Okay, I don't need the mic. Rinpoche, thank you very much for your presentation. And my understanding is you have a lot of interface with the scientific community, like a research thing like that. So I would like to ask for your take regarding to one of the debates, ongoing debate. Right now we're talking about two different opinions. Number one, for the traditional thinking, they believe that once you take advantage of meditation technique from the Buddhism, you have to go all the way to the final goal, which is enlightenment. That's one school of thinking. The other school of thinking is they look at the practical application. For example, we're talking about meditation-based stress reduction, meditation-based cognitive therapy. Those are the practical application. But this school here, they don't care much about the final ultimate goal of doing the practice is reaching the liberation. So as a scholar, looking at that two different opinions, I'd like to know your opinion.
Actually, there is no two different opinions. There's only one opinion. Always remember, Buddhism is a supermarket. Supermarket, you need a different product. So Buddhism have a different product. People who want to go to the liberation, achieve the enlightenment, very serious one. You can go meditation, very serious way. Then you can meditate not only to reduce the stress, meditate to eliminate the ego, meditate, eliminate the attachment. Most difficult is the attachment. That is for the serious practitioner. If you are not that serious, if you just want to meditate and bring more the joy and live more happily and want to enjoy the samsara, also you can do the meditation. So you have the choice. Buddhism is like a supermarket. Whatever you want, you can choose that. So that's why for me, if you ask for me, I think I see that as only one opinion. It depends on the students and the people, what they want. One time, if you look at the Buddha's time, one person came and meet the Buddha and told, and he was a thief. So he thief and he stole a lot of things. And the Buddha told him that don't steal. But he told, if I don't steal, I cannot feed my family, I'm so poor. So Buddha said, okay, then don't steal at night. He stopped the stealing in the night. Daytime he stole it. But it's 1,000 times better than the stealing the day and night. No? At least the 50% he reduced his stealing. That is some method. Buddha gave the method depending on the people. So some people are very serious and the Buddha told, okay, now you cut the hair and be the monk. King Prasenjit is a king. Buddha never told the king you become the monk. He told, okay, you do the administration work. But still he did the teaching. Even the king's wife, the Prasenjit wife, one of the favorite of the Buddha student, she is a queen. Favorite. Do you know that the one thing? Okay, that you know the monks are not allowed to do the swimming. Okay, not allowed to swimming. Actually, that rule is made by the Buddha request of that queen. Queen asked the Buddha to make the rules to monks to not to swim. So Buddha make the rules monks to not to make the swim. So sometimes I tell that queen told the Buddha not to make the rules monks to not to swim. Now, 2,500 years later, we are suffering. We don't have to suffer. We can go and swim, but we are suffering. The point is that the Buddha is very adjust with all the situation, all the condition, he will bring them. Even the queen was Buddha's favorite student. So he never told, the Buddha never told her to, okay, be the nun, leave the palace. He never told that. So that's why every people have a different level and a different strength. Some people, they are very good at the meditation, reduce the stress. Some people have a very good of the potential to meditate and overcome the attachment. So that's why we cannot apply the one meditation to everyone. It is not applied. It is impossible. So that's why I don't think there's two different opinions, only one opinion. What the meditation and the Buddha's Dharma, Buddhism, the main purpose is to benefit the people. How it benefits, it doesn't matter, but it should benefit the people. Once it's not benefiting, then it's another Dharma. I always say that. Buddha always said that the Buddhism, his teaching is a medicine. Medicine should benefit the people. When the Buddhism cannot benefit, then that is another Buddhism at all. It should benefit in the different level. Bring your stress level down, bring your anxiety level down, makes you to achieve the enlightenment, whatever. Now the one point. Maybe 6 or 7, around maybe 5 months back, I was in Bodh Gaya. I'm not sure, you know the Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha achieved the enlightenment. In the Bodh Gaya, when I went to see the very holy place, Bodh Gaya, so in there, when I saw the Buddha statue, then I prayed the Buddha the one thing that, may Buddha bless all my students. You know, I have a student in many different countries. Bless all my students, achieve the enlightenment before me. I will not achieve the enlightenment before my student. Let all my students achieve the enlightenment before me. Bless them. That. Don't bless me to achieve the enlightenment. Bless my student to achieve the enlightenment before me. I pray that. So, now after that I told, now I have no hurry to achieve the enlightenment. I will enjoy. Let all my students achieve the enlightenment and liberation before me. So now I have enough time to enjoy. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Rinpoche, for the wonderful talk. And my question is related to patience. Patience?
What?
Patience.
Shanti.
Shanti.
Yeah.
Patient, no?
Yeah. So, in your book, have you also mentioned something about Shanti? Like already you had mentioned about patience in your previous talk about enlightenment of your students before you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But something more related to the doctrine in terms of patience. Have you also mentioned something in your book about that?
Patient.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Shanti.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like to know something more
About the patient, isn't it? Okay. Patient, okay, more about the patient, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the patient is that you can sit. Patient is that there are many different levels of the patient. The most important patient is that what we need is the patient towards the challenge. Because right now, when you live, there are a lot of the challenge will comes. So you need the patience to the challenges. That's the most important. And especially that the things not go well in your life, people will really freak out. That time you really need the patience. Because I wrote one book in the Chinese and it translated in the Korean language. That book is not in English. That book, the name is that not getting what you want can be the blessing. So that's why we lose the patient sometimes, because when you cannot achieve what you want, we always feel that it's a suffering not getting what you want. In the reality, it can be very different. Have you heard the story of the king who touched the tables and whatever he touched turned into the gold? You know that story, no? King got achieved whatever he wanted. He wished that he can turn everything into the gold. And he got that power. Whatever he touched turned into gold. Is he happy? No. After he touched the plate, food turned into gold. He touched his own daughter, turned into the gold. So this story shows in our life, a lot of times that we lose the patience because when we cannot achieve what we want. Number one. Number two is a patient is very related with the anger. When we get angry with the very small things. So let me tell you the one story. There is one person, whenever he go to the office, he get angry. Whenever he see his boss, he get angry. And then to overcome that anger, what he did is he went to see the psychiatrist doctor. Psychiatrist doctor told him that you should not suppress the anger. Take it out. Don't practice the patience. Patience is suppressing the anger. Don't suppress the anger. Take out. How to take out is that put your boss picture photo in your home. Morning when you go to the office, remove your shoes, hit 3 times on the photo of your boss. Evening when you come back from the office, again remove your shoes and hit 3 times on your photo of your boss, religiously for 1 month. He did that. And after that he went to see the psychiatrist doctor, and the doctor told him, how is going on? Do you still get angry whenever you see your boss? He said one thing. Now I had one big problem. And the psychiatrist doctor asked in the review, do you still get angry? He said, no. Whenever I go to the office, I don't get angry whenever I see the boss. But the one big problem came. Whenever I see my boss in his office, my hands go to the shoe. All the time I cannot control it now. So that is right now, if you look at the anger, Buddhism, what the Buddha was talking about, challenging the root of the anger, eliminating the anger. If you look at the psychiatrists, right now the modern side, they were taking out the anger. So you know that right now that they use the one method, that the rubber band. When you get angry, pull the rubber band. They do that. Like a therapist, they use that method. It is just like distracting the mind. But they are not looking at the root cause of the anger. So, you know the Buddha's, the Four Noble Truths. The structure is a very interesting structure. First you talk the suffering, then you talk the cause of the suffering. Then you find the solution for the cause of the suffering. Right now, what we are doing is, if you have the one problem, you will look for the solution. Am I right? That's one biggest mistake we are doing. When you have the problem, first find the cause of the problem, then find the solution for the problem. Right now, whenever they see the problem, they find the solution. Not they will look at the cause of the problem. So that's why, let me tell you one other story. There is one kingdom, and in that kingdom, a lot of people died by the snake bite. Snake bite, a lot of people died with the snake bite, and what happened is the king was so frustrated, so unhappy with that, and the king declared that whoever killed the snake, they will get the gold coin. Whoever killed the snake, they will get the gold coins, same amount of the numbers of the snake they killed. If they killed the 5 snakes, they will get a 5 gold coin. Everyone started to kill the snake. What happened is that after 6 months later, king was so happy to learn that the snake number more than the 50% is reduced in his kingdom. He continued to declare that. Kill the snake. Whoever killed the snake, they will get a gold coin. Same the amount, the gold coin amount of the gold coins is the same as the numbers of the snake they killed. So after 1 year later, king asked his minister, "Now I'm sure there will be no snake in my kingdom." Minister told the king, "Now the snake number is dramatically increased, more than the years back, 200 times more." King was so shocked and told why the people are not starting to kill the snake. Minister told, "No, because you announced that everyone will get the same amount of the gold coin, number of the snake they killed. So now lots of the people started to raise the snake farm." King went to find the solution for the problem. He didn't look the cause of the problem. Same thing, the patient when you're talking, first with the anger, look the root cause, where it come from. So Buddha said the root cause is ego, or we call the selfishness, no? Self-centered attitude. That is the very root cause. It is very sweet poison. You are not knowing that it should kill you very softly, but you feel like you are enjoying. I always give the one example. Always wherever I go, after this session, if you take a group photo together, after you get that group photo, to whom you will look first?
Yourself.
Yourself.
I know that you would zoom to your face. You will see that how you look in that photo. When you look nice, I'm sure you will keep that group photo. If you don't look nice, either your husband, wife, or the friends, whoever looks nice, you will delete it, am I right? I'm not saying don't delete it, okay? But the problem here is that how we say the Buddha called it the selfishness or the ego or self-centered attitude. But slowly that we too much focus on the self. More you focus, that goes the very extreme. So more you focus on the self, it goes so extreme and that you will ignore all the welfare of the others. Only you will think that your welfare. That is the one big mistake we're doing. It is a very like a sweet poison. So you slowly, it's killing you, but you are not aware of it. So that's why it is like, so that's why as a Buddhism, a lot of these are the practices, advices to keep the mental state very healthy. Not only keep the mental state healthy, bring the joy and the happiness in the life. Now I come to the conclusion, okay, bottom line. What is the purpose of our life? What is the purpose? We are not born, just pay those bills and die. When you hear, you have to pay all the car bill, then the electric bill, then the die. It is not that. The purpose of our life is to live happily. That is the Buddha's giving a lot of the message that how you can be happy. Always remember, earlier I told purchase more, consume more happy. To consume the ice cream, to consume the whatever things, it is not a free. Ice cream is not a free, car is not free, everything is not a free, but the happiness is free. That's what the Buddhism gave the messages. Okay, thank you so much, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche, for a wonderful teaching. We all benefited a lot from this. And I wish Rinpoche please visit our school again and again in the next year and give us a teaching. And thank you everybody for attending today. And I want to see you again. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.